We are now live. Let me make sure my lighting is good. What's going on, everybody? This is Dre All Day coming to y'all live. Well, it is live right now. If you're watching this on replay, then I'm coming to you on replay. But turn the volume up. Doesn't matter when you're watching this, where you're watching it, just the fact that you're watching it. Because a lot of other things you could be doing on your media connected device. So as you come into this live stream, tell me your name and location. Name and location. This is Dre All Day coming to you live. Work on your game university. Work on your game university. You in the Instagram building. This is Dre All Day. Turn the volume up. If you ain't got notifications on for me, turn notifications on, because I will go live at the drop of a hat. You never know when I'm gonna go live. Like Notorious B.I.G. said, I drop unexpectedly like bird shit. So as you are coming in, tell me your name and location. Chris Wilmore, first comment, checking in from Kentucky. What's going on? Chris from Kentucky. Shout out to Kentucky, man. Shout out to Louisville. Where else in Kentucky? I don't even know. Shout out to everybody in Kentucky. Shout out to everybody who's watching this live. Shout out to all the people watching on replay. What I want to talk about today, Jaspal checking in from Calgary, Alberta. I hope all y'all got the mirror motivation. We'll talk about that later. As you come in, tell me your name and location. I'm about to introduce myself. I'll shout out a couple people if you happen to leave a comment before I get into the content today. But I'm going to tell y'all my name. For those who don't know, my name is Dre Baldwin. Many people know me as Dre All Day. I'm a former 9-year professional basketball player. I'm the creator of this philosophy called Work on Your Game, which is taking a pro athlete mindset and telling you how you can apply that mindset. Whether you play a sport, whether you run a business, you are a business professional working at a company, maybe you're unemployed, you don't even know what you're doing right now. How you can apply the pro athlete's mindset to your business, to your sport, and to your life. That's what I do. Now, I do that through several different processes. I can do that through writing a book, through this live stream right here, through professional speaking, through one-on-one coaching, through consulting, through recorded videos, through audio podcasts, through courses. I do it a lot of different ways, but every single time you hear me delivering audience, what I'm doing is the exact same thing. I'm delivering this work on your game philosophy, and however it can apply to whomever I'm talking to. And I know how to make this apply to a lot of different people. That's my skill. So what I'm going to talk about here today, right before I turn on this camera, because for those of y'all who don't know, I do these off the top. So I basically turn on and figure out what I'm going to talk about as I get started. For those of y'all who have left comments, it looks like y'all asking some questions because your comments is long and shit. I will get to it at the end. So if you have a question, if you post it now, I'll get to it at the end, or you can just wait till the end and I'll take your question. But these streams don't be long. I usually go about 5-10 minutes, then we take questions, then that's it. So today I was turning this on. I'm like, man, what should I talk about? And my girl's in the room. She was like, yo, just talk about why you do a live stream every day. So that's what I'm going to talk about. Not necessarily the live stream itself, but why do I write an article every day? Or that's another way that I get my philosophy out, through written content. Why do I write an article every day? Why do I do a podcast episode every day? Why do I put a video on YouTube every day? Why do I do a live stream every day? And why do I post? I'm posting to the story. I may be on Twitter, on LinkedIn. What's the other one? Facebook. This one right here. Why put content on all these platforms all the time the way that I do, and not just some bullshit content, and not copy and paste and taking a piece from here and then putting it over there, repurposing, but fresh content. Why do I do that? I'm gonna tell you why I do that. Because at me and you and anyone else out there who makes your money via communicating your ideas and your philosophies or your position or whatever you're working on, if you make money by communicating your thoughts, your knowledge, your experience, your expertise to other people, I don't care if you do it through written or you do it through speaking, you are what we would call a professional speaker. Now, I know that everybody thinks that a professional speaker is a person who puts a suit on and you get on the stage and you give a speech and they clap for you and then you get the bag for giving the speech. Now, I do professional speaking, but what makes me a professional speaker is not just the fact that I'm doing the traditional professional speaking. This right here, this is professional speaking. The reason why this is professional speaking is because I'm telling you about what I do as a profession, which is share the work on your game philosophy, and I'm speaking to you to tell you about it. So I'm speaking to you to explain my professional expertise. Do you understand? So that makes me a professional speaker. If you're a coach of a basketball team, you are a professional speaker. Because usually if you're coaching a team, you got to talk to them, right? Unless you're coaching a team of deaf basketball players, you got to talk to those people to get your point across. And even if they were deaf, you still got to give them sign language. You're still communicating. If you write books, you are a professional speaker because you're speaking through your words, letting people know what it is you have going on and what you want them to understand. If you are a police officer, you're a professional speaker because you got to speak to your partners. You got to speak to the people who are subordinate to you. You got to speak to the suspects and the people on the street, the neighbors in the street, to let them know what you have going on. If you're an Instagrammer or an online influencer, you're a professional speaker. If you're a podcaster or a YouTuber, you are a professional speaker because if you do not have the ability to speak, your knowledge, your expertise, your position, what you want people to know, if you don't have the ability to articulate that to an audience of people, then your profession is not going to go too far, or you're not going to go too far in your profession. The profession is going to go with or without you, but you're not going to go far in that profession if you lack the ability to communicate and articulate what exactly you want your audience to know. So every one of us is a professional speaker. So that is the background I'm going to give you. I'm answering the question here today, why I put out content all the time, why I'm doing it why I'm putting it out every day. The reason why I put out content every day is because when you start doing this, what I'm doing right now, a couple things happen for you. Number one, you find your voice. You know what I mean when I say find your voice? I don't mean that you start to recognize what your voice sounds like when you're talking in a dark room. What I mean is you start to figure out your style, you figure out what you want to communicate, you start to learn certain principles, certain stories, certain anecdotes that you can share over and over again, maybe not to the same people, but to different audiences. There's some things that I've said on stages at professional events that I've never said on a live stream, but eventually I will. And some things I say on this stream that I haven't said on the stage, and maybe I will depending on what it is, depending on the rating of that content. So you learn what your style is, you learn what you want to talk about, you learn what the audience responds to the more you do it. The reason why I like doing live streams and going off the top, and I like answering the questions in the comments, because I don't know what somebody's going to say in the comments. I have no idea what I'm going to think of to say when I turn the camera on, but because I put my feet to the fire and make myself come up with something, I get good at speaking off the top. I get good at speaking spontaneously. So imagine how good I am. If you think this is good, imagine how good I am when I get to script out what I'm going to say, when I get to plan what I'm going to say, when I get weeks and months in advance to figure out exactly what I'm going to say. Imagine how good that is if I could be this good when I'm just speaking off the top. So you sharpen your skills by putting yourself in a position where you have to figure out what to say, and you can't stop it and delete it and start over. Because I know some of y'all who make videos, you be starting, then you delete it like 20 times before you finally record something, and then you don't even like it, and then you won't put it out. When you do a live stream, you ain't got that option. You just got to go, because whoever's watching is watching, and whatever you say is what you say, and however it goes, however it goes. Now, you ain't got to post it up to share for everybody to see for 24 hours, but you do got to put it out. So the first thing that happens is you find your voice. Second thing that happens when you do live streams or any type of speaking, I don't care if you record it, you write it down, whatever, podcast, if you do it every day, if you're doing it very consistently, the second thing that happens is you start to learn your go-to points. So this is a subsection of finding your voice. What's the stories you want to tell, the anecdotes, the analogies that you want to use, the questions that you want to answer, and you start to figure out what are the things that people would ask on this subject. What are the objections people will have to the points that you're making? What are the problems that people are having in this area, and how can you address those problems before anybody even asks? See, if you're going to be a good salesperson, you need to think like your customer. Not think like the salesperson, like, yo, buy my product because it's great. Let me tell you all the great things about it. You need to think about what problems the person you're trying to sell to, what problems do they have that they have not expressed yet, that if you address them, they're going to feel like you're reading their minds. They're going to feel like y'all on the same wavelength, right? And then they're going to buy from you because they believe that you know exactly how they feel. If you can make a person feel that you know how they feel and you feel how they feel, they'll do whatever you say. They'll buy whatever you're selling. They will go wherever you say to go. But that's a skill that you only come up with by thinking about it a lot and then working on it. You actually got to work through the answers and figure out what they are, test them out on your audience, see what your audience responds to, and then you'll know what works and what doesn't. Listen, I've tried content that just didn't land. I thought it was going to work. It didn't work. I tried some stuff where I was like, I'm not sure that's going to work. Then I tried it and it was amazing. But you won't know until you put the stuff out there. Here's the third thing I'm going to give you. This is the last point I'm going to give you here today. I'm talking about why you want to put out content, or why I don't know what you're going to do, but why I like to put out content on a consistent basis every single day, speaking to an audience. Again, whether through written, I'm talking about writing stuff down, audio recording, video record, or doing a live stream. Why you want to do it live every single day is that you get really good at speaking. You get really good at communicating, and professional speaking is a skill. Some of y'all may have heard the old anecdote that says, people are more afraid of public speaking than they are of actual death, which means if somebody's at a funeral, they'd rather be in the casket than actually be up on a microphone delivering the eulogy. People are afraid of public speaking for a couple of reasons. Number one, people think that what they're going to say is going to sound dumb, or that nobody's going to like it, or nobody's going to listen to it. Another reason is people don't know what the hell to say. Another reason is people are just not confident in their message, or competent in their message. Meaning, confident means you believe in your message. Competent means your message gets other people to believe in you. And those are two different things. Competence means you got some knowledge and you got a grasp of your subject. Confidence just means you believe in it. You can believe in some bullshit, and your audience can think that you're trash. So a lot of people don't like to speak in public, which means somebody like myself, and maybe like you, if you come from you got a competitive mindset, or you come from a competitive arena, such as myself. I come from the sports background where everything is competitive. You competing every single day. If I learn that there's a certain skill that a lot of people are afraid to even work on, or afraid to even use, and I know that I can get good at it, then I'm telling myself, shit, that give me an advantage over everybody else out here. So if I can get good at public speaking, and I'm comfortable with public speaking, and you can't make me uncomfortable, put me on the stage. I don't care how many people are in the room. I don't care what the subject is. I don't even have to know what the subject is. Just hand me the mic, turn it on, and say, all right, talk about, just name a subject. Tell me to talk about it. I'm good. I know that I can do that. And I also know that out of 100 people in the room, 95 of them are not going to be good at that. Average people. So that's going to set me apart from all them. I'm eliminating 95% of people as competition. I like that. I like that. In the words of DJ Khaled voice, I like that. Being able to separate yourself from everybody else out there who is not willing to get better at that skill, or they just don't have that skill, it puts you ahead of everyone. And if you're going to be a salesperson in this world, we're all salespeople. If you're going to, guys out there, you want to talk to a girl that you're interested in, you got to be able to speak. You got to be able to hold a conversation. She going to say something to you that you didn't see coming, and you're going to have to say something back. And you need to sound confident, and needs to be competent, and needs to make sense, and needs to keep the conversation flowing. If you can't do that, you might miss your opportunity with that lady that you're very interested in. And she might have thought you was cute, but then when she realized that you couldn't hold a conversation, you just blew the whole situation. So if you want to sell anything, if you're trying to sell a product or a service, if you're trying to get a job, all of these things require public speaking. If you're going to be on the internet in any way, you got to be able to communicate what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you're doing, what you want people to get. You got to be able to communicate it clearly, articulately, briefly. You got to be brevity as necessary. So say it in 2 sentences rather than saying it in 4. When necessary, go longer if you have to. You go speak somewhere, they say you got 90 minutes. You got to fill that 90 minutes. You can't say, all right, I'm going to talk for 30 minutes because that's all I got to say. No, you got to give them 90 or they're not going to give you a check. So you got to have this full range of skill. But this comes from practice. As I say, work on your game. When you work on your game of doing these things over and over again, you start to develop the skills and you don't even have to think about it. But it's something that you must force yourself. You got to force yourself to jump in the ring. You got to force yourself to go get in the game, work on your game, then get in the game, perform in the game. Even if you lose the game, you come back to the game and do it over again. So that's why, hopefully I've explained this well enough, again, going off the top, why I do a live stream, put out a video, article, podcast every single day. Another reason is because I'm just fucking good at this shit. So I'm going to keep it real. I ain't going to act like this is just something I just randomly pick. I'm good at it. You do things that you're good at. All right. So that is another thing I would tell you. If you're not great at public speaking, if you're not a person who likes to get on a mic or on a camera and talk like this, you should still develop the skill because one day you're going to need it. But that doesn't mean you got to put out as much as I do. Just get good at it. Have the competence. You ain't got to love it, but you got to be competent at it. So now I'm going to address some comments because I see I had some comments while I was talking. My name is Dre All Day. For those of y'all who don't know, mirrorofmotivation.com. You can get this book shipped to you free worldwide. I'm shipping this book worldwide, anywhere you live. The book is free. All you got to do is take care of the shipping. Go to mirrorofmotivation.com. Mirror of Motivation is the link in my bio on Instagram. So as soon as the stream is over, go to my Instagram bio, click on the link, and I will ship you this book, and you better hurry up and get it before we run out of trees. It may not be any trees left on the planet for us to print more books, so you better make sure you get yours. So Rocco says, I remember I got cut from the basketball team a couple years ago, saw your video, made me feel so much better. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Sam said, my name is Sam, I'm in Africa, and I got the name Sam. I grew up working on the farm and eating. Well, why are you telling me that, Sam? I'm glad you're here, but that's what's up. Space Kid Marty McFly says, Dre is the truth. He is real to the core, not like many. That's what's up. Thank you, Space Kid. I appreciate that. Trainer TG says, how do you deal with hating ass motherfuckers? You don't have to deal with them. Who said you had to deal with them? Hating is just a feeling, is an energy. If they're not physically doing nothing to you, you don't have to deal with them at all. You can ignore them. Even if they saying something, you don't have to respond to something that somebody says. I mean, y'all know the sayings, right? Sticks and stones may break my bones. You don't have to respond to something somebody says. Sam says, would you ever consider taking a break from social media, even though it's part of your job? Well, social media is not my job. I mean, my job is selling products and services. So this right here, making these and getting these in the hands of people like you, that's part of my job. So one thing I do to get these in the hands of people like you is get on social media. I use social media. Social media is a middleman. All right, but if social media went away, if Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook all went away tomorrow, I'm still doing my business. My business does not stop. I would just do it in a different way. I use social media just so I can reach all right, but I don't need social media to answer your question. So I got to correct a little bit of your question. But this is my job, is getting my philosophy that's up here in my head and getting it on paper so that people like you can understand it. And if I happen to go through social media to get that message out, then so be it. But if social media self-destructs, like Inspector Gadget, then I'm good. Cash Chris says, so anyway, the question was, would I take a break from social media? Was that the question? Yeah, I would take a break from social media. Of course. Listen, I don't need social media. Social media needs me. Cash Chris says, what was the name of the podcast episode where you talk about being scared of the Uber driver going faster than you normally drive, but you see that the driver is going as fast as you normally would? Yeah, I remember that. I wrote about that too. And off the top of my head, I can't tell you because I got 1,400 episodes of my podcast. So if you think I'm going to remember that off the top of my head, then you are mistaken. Now, I am good at speaking, but I'm not a memory master. So what you should do is go to Work on Your Game University, workonyourgameu.com. Sign up for the game group membership where you get a free 2-week trial, and then you can keep the membership at $27 a month if you want to. But in the game group membership, I got a list of every episode that's ever come out of the Work on Your Game audio experience, masterclass experience, which y'all call a podcast, and you can just go through that and listen to as much as you want. So that's where you can get that. And Cash Chris, make sure you get the app. We got an app there where you can listen to everything on mobile, so you could speed it up and all that. Cash Chris says, it also mentioned your mindset when you get on the plane. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just forgot. I don't have a number in front of me. If I had a list of the episodes in front of me, I might be able to figure that out, but I don't, so I can't. But eventually, one day, we're going to have all of those transcribed and written out as blog posts, and that's going to be the longest book ever written in history. I'm going to have to break that up. So I got 25 books out now. Listen, God willing, as long as I'm alive, I'm going to put out like 200 books. Real rap. Sam says, do you like when teachers make students tell their goals or aspirations to other students and themselves in class, even if the student does not want to share? Yeah, every teacher does that because I don't know why, but all teachers do that. Listen, make up. You don't have to tell them your real goal. You can make up something. All right, if you don't want to share your goal, play the game, Sam. Understand, I did an episode on this, is that in life you got to learn how to hustle. And hustling means sometimes you got to play the game, meaning you're going to be in situations in life where it's something that you're required to do that you don't really want to do. But if you don't do it, you're going to hurt your own self. You're going to hurt your own opportunity. So don't fight. Don't try to go against the grain and swim against the current. That's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy, and you're probably going to drown. What you should do instead is play the game. Learn how to play it. When I was in college, I realized that none of my teachers could teach me anything about what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to be a pro athlete, and then I was going to get on this internet thing. And this is before the internet was the internet. This is before social media. And I knew none of my teachers could teach it. So I'm sitting in class like, all right, nothing that I'm going to learn in this class is going to help me do what I want to do with my life. But I still wanted to get that degree. So what I had to do, I had to play the game. I had to go to class. I had to fucking take notes. I had to listen to this shit. I had to take the test. I had to make sure at least I got a C. Get a C in all the classes so I could get that degree, get the hell out of there, and go and do what I wanted to do. I had to learn how to play the game. That's what hustlers do. Hustlers do not go against the grain. Hustlers learn how to play the game. That rhymes. I just made that up. See, this is why you do it every single day. Don't go against the grain. Learn how to play the game. Sam says, do you believe in the third eye and chakras? Yeah, the third eye is the mind. So I better believe in the mind, because what I talk about is mindset. And chakras, I mean, it's nothing to believe in. It's a real thing. That part is not anything you need to believe in. But yes. Now, could I teach you anything about it? No. But there are other people who can. I am Manroy. How do I not feel inferior when I'm talking to white people? I always talk to them like I'm shy. Just stop doing that. Or that's one thing you could do. Stop doing it. Number two, go talk to more white people so you can get comfortable with it. Number three, when you're talking to a white person, imagine them not being white. Number four, read my book, The Super You, which is about unlocking and living with your highest level of confidence. So the real answer, number four, read my book, The Super You. You can get that as part of the Bulletproof Bundle. So when you go get your free copy of this book, there's a little box right there that says get the Bulletproof Bundle, where you get 4 books. So you get this, and then you get the other 3 books. So you get a total of 4 books. And it costs less to get it through mirrormotivation.com than if you just go to Bulletproof Bundle. So that's the way you can get all 4 of those books. Again, that's the Bulletproof Bundle, 4 books. So you get the discipline book, the confidence book, the mental toughness book, and the personal initiative book, all in one bundle, 4 books called the Bulletproof Bundle. So that's what you could do to get comfortable talking to white people, and talk to more white people. The more you do something, the less uncomfortable it is, because you get used to it. Cash Chris says, do you have a fear of flying, or have you ever had one? No. No and no. I never had a fear of flying. Sam said, I got a fear ever since Kobe. Well, listen, it's more dangerous. If you're any of you who is afraid of flying because Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash, let me tell you something. Many more people die in car crashes every day than ever die on a helicopter or airplane. So if you want to be afraid of something, be afraid of getting in a car. You're much more likely to die in a car than you are to die on an airplane or a helicopter. Like, you're like 1,000 times more likely to die from that than you are to die from a plane. You're more likely to die getting eaten by a shark than you are to die in a helicopter or airplane. Cash Chris said, I'm trying to get over mine a little because I want to play in the NBA. Well, I think you'll be all right. You know, if you sign that NBA contract and they paying you, X number of dollars a year, I think you'll get over your fear real quick getting on that plane. Sam says, how was your transition from pro to where you are now? Well, I've talked about that on my podcast, Work on Your Game Masterclass Audio Experience, which you can get full episodes at workonyourgameuniversity.com. But that question is a little too broad for me to answer quickly. Sam said, would you ever consider going vegan full-time? Yeah, I've been vegan full-time. So yes, I have considered it, and I did it. I'm still vegan full-time. I'm vegan when I feel like being vegan full-time. And if I feel like eating a cheeseburger, then God damn it, I eat a cheeseburger. So that's that. We're wrapping this up. Everybody, hope y'all had a great, today is Wednesday. Listen, we are damn near 40 days into 2020. Please check yourself for your goals, the things you said you were going to do this year, the way you said you were going to change this year. Make sure you're not allowing yourself to slip up. Everybody was excited about the new year on January 1st and 2nd, but now it's February, 5th, 4th, 5th? All right, stay locked in, stay focused. DreAllDay.com is my website, my main homepage. If you want to learn more about the products, services, offerings, things that I keep name dropping and talking about, like this right here, go to workonmygame.com. So see, this says work on your game. Go to workonmygame.com. That's where you can get all the products such as this. Mirror Motivations, where you get this book. It's the link in my IG bio. And that's that. Work on your game.